You ever notice something, gentlemen? In almost every relationship, every situationship, every connection, there's always a moment where a man realizes he's giving more and receiving less. Not because he's weak, not because he's desperate, not because he lacks options, but because somewhere deep inside, he believes it's his job to hold everything together. And sadly, most men don't even recognize this pattern until they're exhausted, empty, and quietly resentful. This video is for that man. The man who tries. The man who shows up. The man who carries more weight than anyone ever notices. And trust me, there are millions of men who live in this emotional reality without ever saying a word. Because men don't complain. Men don't announce their pain. Men don't broadcast their disappointment. They simply continue, giving, trying, fixing, holding on. Until one day, something small, a comment, a tone, a lack of appreciation, breaks something inside them. And when that happens, the world says, "Why did he pull away? Why did he stop trying? What changed?" Well, everything changed. And nothing changed at all. Because this is what men do. They love quietly. They sacrifice silently. And they hope, just hope, that someone will finally notice. I'm Lady Saphira, and today, I'm going to give a voice to something men rarely put into words. Not to blame women, not to shame men, but to help you understand why so many men feel emotionally underfed, yet continue to overdeliver. So sit back, breathe, let this message sink in. Because once you understand why men give more than they receive, you'll see yourself, your patterns, your wounds, your loyalty, in a completely new light. And gentlemen, you deserve that clarity. Most men learn to give long before they ever learn to receive. And this isn't an accident. It's a result of years, sometimes decades, of conditioning that teaches a man his value lies in one thing: how much he can endure without breaking. A boy grows up hearing messages like, "Be strong, don't complain, handle it, look after others, be the one she can rely on." And slowly, quietly, he builds an identity around giving, around fixing, around supporting, around showing up, even when no one shows up for him. So by the time he becomes a man, he doesn't even question it. He gives because he's supposed to. He sacrifices because it's expected. He tries because he's learned that trying is what makes him good. But here's the truth men rarely admit. They don't know what it feels like to be emotionally nourished. They know how to give affection, but not how to receive it. They know how to support, but not how to be supported. They know how to reassure, but not how to ask for reassurance. So what happens? A man enters a relationship with a heart full of effort and pockets empty of expectations. But somewhere along the way, something inside him shifts. Not because the relationship is bad, and not because the woman is wrong, but because the dynamic becomes unbalanced in a way most women don't even recognize. A man's giving becomes so consistent that it stops being seen as giving and starts being seen as normal. His patience is expected. His stability is assumed. His loyalty is taken for granted. His emotional investment becomes the ground she stands on. Not intentionally, not maliciously, but naturally. Because consistency, especially in men, quickly becomes invisible. And here's the tragedy. A man doesn't ask for more. He simply lowers his needs until he has none left. He tells himself, "It's fine. She's just stressed. I don't want to start a problem. It doesn't matter." But it does matter, because each time he swallows his disappointment, each time he hides his exhaustion, each time he pushes through another day unmet and unseen, something inside him thins, his resilience, his joy, his enthusiasm, his emotional oxygen, until eventually he's running a marathon on an empty tank and pretending he's not out of breath. And women feel this shift long before they understand it. They sense the dulling of his presence, the heaviness behind his smile, the way he says, "I'm fine," without looking up, the silence when she asks if something's wrong. But what they don't realize is this. He isn't withdrawing because he wants distance. He's withdrawing because he has nothing left to give. Exhaustion doesn't come all at once. It arrives in stages. Stage 1. Emotional micro-cracks. He stops explaining how he feels because explaining began to feel pointless. Stage 2. Internal overthinking. He starts questioning his worth instead of the imbalance. Stage 3. Silent resentment. Not anger, just a numbness that forms when effort isn't matched. Stage 4. Emotional shutdown. He stops initiating, stops planning, stops expecting, stops hoping. Not because he doesn't care, but because caring has become painful. And here is the line that breaks men the most. I give so much, and she doesn't even see it. That sentence destroys more relationships than cheating, conflict, or incompatibility ever will. Because once a man feels unseen, he doesn't explode. He doesn't fight. He doesn't beg. He simply fades, quietly, slowly, inevitably. He becomes present in the room, but absent in the connection. Still loving, but no longer living inside the love. Still there, but no longer himself. A woman may ask, what changed? And the heartbreaking truth is, nothing changed today. Everything changed months ago. Only now. You can finally see it. A man doesn't walk away when he's empty. He walks away when the emptiness becomes normal. So the question becomes, why do men keep giving more than they receive? Why do they continue pouring out effort long after they've run dry? Why do they show up even when no one shows up for them? The answer is both simple and heartbreaking. Men do not believe they are allowed to need anything. They believe love must be earned. They believe their value is conditional. They believe being low maintenance makes them easier to love. They believe asking for emotional support makes them a burden. And so they give, and give, and give, hoping that one day someone will finally notice the quiet ways they show love, hoping that their consistency will be appreciated, hoping that their loyalty will be reciprocated, hoping that their effort will inspire effort in return. But hope, when it is never met with reality, becomes heavy. A man begins to question himself long before he questions the relationship. He wonders if he is too sensitive. He wonders if he expects too much. He wonders if maybe love is supposed to feel unbalanced. He wonders if being needed is the same as being valued. And then comes the moment men rarely talk about. The moment he realizes he has been operating from emotional debt. He has been withdrawing from a bank account that receives no deposits. He has been investing in a connection that no longer invests back. He has been maintaining a bond that is slowly dissolving on one side. And yet, he stays. He stays because men often confuse endurance with love. He stays because he believes loyalty means holding on, even when he is breaking. He stays because walking away feels like failure, even when staying is destroying him. Until one day, he wakes up and something inside him is simply gone. Not anger, not hatred, not even disappointment, just absence. The absence of the spark he used to feel. The absence of the hope that used to drive him. The absence of the strength he once had to keep giving without receiving. This is the moment most women finally notice. He no longer initiates. he no longer tries to fix things. He no longer absorbs the emotional weight of the relationship. He no longer bends to keep the peace. He is still there in body, but the man she knew is no longer present. And this is the painful truth. A man does not shut down because he stopped caring. He shuts down because caring alone stopped working. He does not withdraw because he is selfish. He withdraws because he has carried more than his share for far too long. He does not fall out of love. He falls out of strength. But here is what every man must understand. Your worth does not depend on how much you can carry. Your value does not depend on how much you can sacrifice. Your importance does not depend on being the one who never needs anything back. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to ask for support. You are allowed to expect effort. You are allowed to feel tired. You are allowed to want reciprocity. You are allowed to be human. Healthy love is not built on one person giving endlessly, while the other person comfortably receives. Healthy love is balance, mutuality, consistency on both sides, effort that flows in both directions. A relationship cannot thrive when one person is the anchor, the provider, the emotional container, the problem solver, and the foundation all at once. A man is not supposed to play every role. A man is not supposed to carry everything. A man is not supposed to disappear inside his own generosity. Because when a man gives until he disappears, the relationship loses him long before the breakup ever happens. So if you are a man watching this, and you feel the weight of giving far more than you receive, hear this clearly. You deserve care in return. You deserve appreciation in return. You deserve affection in return. You deserve presence in return. You deserve love that fills you, not love that drains you. Giving does not make you a man. Balance does. Honesty does. Self-respect does. You do not need to choose between loving others and honoring yourself. You can do both. In fact, you must. I am Lady Saphira, and if you take one message from this today, let it be this. Give, but do not empty yourself. Love, but do not abandon yourself. Show up, but only where you are also seen. A man who knows his worth gives from strength, not from depletion. And you, whether you realize it yet or not, deserve a love that gives back to you as deeply as you give to others.